Hello and welcome back to day 3 of 5 days of gentle Napoleonic sass with Captain Gronow. Possibly not a singing career on the line for me. Better stick to academia, which is much more stable.
5 days of gentle Napoleonic sass with Captain Gronow.
Today's reading comes from slightly further on in the memoirs of Gronow, and it's titled The English in Paris After the Restoration of the Bourbons, so it's set in 1815. There is no more ordinary illusion belonging to humanity than that which enables us to discover, in the fashions of the day, an elegance and comeliness of dress which a few years after we ourselves regard as odious caricatures of costumes. Thousands of oddly dressed English flocked to Paris immediately after the war. I remember that the burden of one of the popular songs of the day was, "All the world's in Paris," and our countrymen and women, having so long been excluded from French modes, had adopted fashions of their own quite as remarkable and eccentric as those of the Parisians, and much less graceful. British beauties were dressed in long, straight pelisses of various colours. The body of the dress was never of the same colour as of the skirt, and the bonnet was of the beehive shape and very small. The characteristic of the dress of the gentleman was a coat of light blue or snuff colour with brass buttons, the tail reaching nearly to the heels. A gigantic bunch of seals dangled from his fob, whilst his pantaloons were short and tight at the knees, and a spacious waistcoat with a voluminous muslin cravat and a frilled shirt completed the toilette. The dress of the British military, in its stiff and formal ugliness, was equally cumbrous and ludicrous. In terms of a TLDR for this episode, I think firstly we can say that despite all of our efforts, it's always possible to spot English tourists abroad. We try so hard. It never works. The French are so much cooler. Secondly, that in the same way that we regret the early 2000s, people in the 1820s regretted 1815. Finally, in the reality TV show that absolutely no one has asked for, Project Runway, Napoleonic military uniforms, even the British Army could not place first. As always, thank you so much for taking a couple of minutes to watch this silliness, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Take care. A gigantic bunch of seals dangling from his fob,